I actually can't believe I stayed up till 2:01 a.m. on a Monday night to watch third stringers play against third stringers in a WNBA game, and that was awful. That was an absolutely awful, and I mean awful, game of basketball. Like, Connecticut Sun were great in the first half. They were garbage in the second half too. But anyway, let's talk about it. Before we get on to it, you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. We are like just over 150 away from 7K. If we could somehow hit that in the next 2 days, that'd be absolutely insane. But anyway, now let's get on to it. So Caitlin Clark's Indiana Fever are garbage. They are absolutely garbage. So Caitlin Clark, in her defense, she's had a decent enough first half. Couple of turnovers. Dejanay Carrington, her and Lainey Hamilton are the two probably toughest individual matchups that she has. Like, look, I'm gonna make a video talking about all the dumb decisions of Christy Sides. She's a very, like, Caitlin Clark is a flawed basketball player, but like any competent coach really tries to work on putting players in a position to succeed and not necessarily their bad points. And I thought Caitlin Clark had a good first half. She had a good first half. She hit a couple of logo threes. She posted up Dejanay Carrington once to start the game. She had a good first half. She had 10 points, a couple of turnovers. That's going to happen. And then in the second half, she took a long three because didn't run anything for her for about 5 possessions. And then, in fairness to her, she airballed the floater. So that's obviously something that Caitlin Clark massively needs to work on. That game between a layup and a 3-point line is just non-existent for her. And that's something that you're probably not going to see till post-Olympic break. As far as her all-around game goes, I didn't think she was that bad. It wasn't one of her better games, but she shot the ball 8 times. She played 20 minutes. Christy Sides literally benched all of her starters. All of her starters. For the last 17 minutes of the game. Like, I've never seen anything like it. Maybe she benched some of the starters for less, some of the starters for more. But as soon as Caitlin Clark went off the floor, it was like a sigh. They just breathed relief. Like, the Connecticut Sun went out to destroy the Fever. They went out to absolutely destroy the Fever. And as soon as Caitlin Clark was off the floor, they just thought, you know what? This one's over. This one's over. We're good. We're good. And they took the foot off the pedal. And the fact that with how little effort the Sun put in the second half, the Fever still couldn't bring that game back. Like, they couldn't do anything. They genuinely couldn't do anything. And fair play to Aaliyah Boston. That was her best game. Was she cooking a lot of the time? Did she get her rhythm by cooking the bench? Yes. Yes, she did. But Aaliyah Boston's a very good passer out of the post, I have to say. And she actually, like, even when they started, Breanna Jones coming back in, she was going at her. She still doesn't look in great shape. She still doesn't look like she's playing defense. But, like, that is what you need. You need Aaliyah Boston to actually use her strength and go in. Because she is a smart player. She's a good passer. She can be a focal point of the offense, especially when it breaks down into the half court. And because whatever the hell offense they were running just isn't working. But she can be that. Like, Aaliyah Boston needs to do that more. She needs to do that more. And it was very clear that how much better Aaliyah Boston was when Caitlin Clark's not on the floor. So you're looking at this team being like, you've got a really good player that's rated really highly in the league in Aaliyah Boston, who very clearly isn't good with Caitlin Clark. And you've got Caitlin Clark, who, like, look, I genuinely think if Christy Sides had the choice to trade Caitlin Clark for whatever all-star player you would get back for her, I think Christy Sides would say, yeah, make that trade. And I think any other team would do that. So I'm just looking at the team and like, something needs to change. Something that desperately, and by something desperately, I mean one of those two needs to go. And I don't even mean Sides the coach. I mean one of Aaliyah Boston or Caitlin Clark. If you are the Fever, Fever are completely incompetent as a franchise. And like, if I'm their owner, you know what? You just free your players. Trade both of them. Trade all of them. You know what? Sell your team. Sell the team. It's the Indiana Pacers owner. You know what? This team has been incompetent since Tamika Catchings was there. And Tamika Catchings was drafted in 2002. Like, They've been incompetent since Tamika Catchings was there. They were 5-31 2 years ago. They might be worse this year. So they won't be worse this year. But just go and just free Caitlin Clark, free Aaliyah Boston. Just get them all away from this incompetent franchise. Leave Kelsey Mitchell do her best GOI's impression. Get rid of free Alyssa Smith as well. Keep Erica Wheeler. Let Kelsey Mitchell be GOIs and just free everybody else. Free everybody else. Just get them away from this incompetent team. But the fans literally chanting, "We won Caitlin." I've never seen anything like it. The fans were literally chanting, "We won Caitlin," for like half of the second half. And you know what? Fair play. Like, I don't love it. I think it was a bit early to sub her out. Like, if you're going to just throw the game, don't sub her out with 6.5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and don't put her back in. At least give her at least put her on. The game's over. At least put her on for 3 minutes to start the fourth quarter and just let her shoot threes. Give her the Eureka green light. Like, give her the Agumbo Halle green light for a few minutes. The game's over. Give her the Erica Wheeler green light. Just let her shoot the ball every time she touches it for 3 minutes and then take her off. At least try to give the fans something. But that was grim. That was just a horrible, horrible game to watch, because like they couldn't at one stage, like they couldn't even score on the third stringers for the Sun. And the Sun just took the foot off the pedal. They did not care in the second half. They did not care. And that was a all-around awful game. And it's a weird one because offense-wise, shooting-wise, Caitlin Clark was fine. She was fine. Like, she wasn't put into good situations. Like, Caitlin Clark has not been able to, in any of the games, she's not been able to really go at Dejanay Carrington because of how good Carrington just is on defense. And it was the same with Lainey Hamilton. But I'm going to talk about it a little bit later. It's literally like they're throwing games. They run the same dumb single pin down for Clark every single time. They did it against the Liberty as well. Like, they actually run proper sets in games that they have a chance of winning. And then in games where they're almost certainly going to lose, they literally look like they're throwing games. Like, Chrissy Slides looks like she's throwing games. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. At least she didn't have 3 points against the Liberty, like she did against the Liberty. But this was weird, man. This was a weird game. And it's literally... The best way to grow the league is definitely by not benching your golden goose. Like, your team's going to suck anyway. Is that the new precedent? That if a team that's terrible goes down, which is going to happen quite a lot, if the terrible team goes down in a game, the terrible team benches the best player, which is the only reason people are watching? I don't get it. Like, they're going to be better against Atlanta, I guess. They're going to be better against the Sky. I wouldn't be surprised they beat the Sky again. But this is a terrible basketball team, and I'm not gonna lie, like, this is a team that's doing nothing to hide the flaws of Caitlin Clark, in fairness, or show off the good things she does. But at the same time, when Caitlin Clark's off on the floor, they can't show the they can't show the good things Aaliyah Boston does. I'm not gonna lie. Like, it's horrible to watch. Free both. Like, the WNBA should step in and just move this team to a city or move this team somewhere. Just get them out of Indiana. You know what? Like, you're never gonna attract a free agent there. Move them to freaking Boston. Just move them to Boston. Move the team to Boston. There are good basketball fans in Boston. Like, move the team. Where is the big market? I know Golden State are getting a market. Just move the team somewhere. Just move the team somewhere. Just change the name. Change the name from the Fever. Just free everybody of having to think of this incompetent franchise again. But yeah, that was not a good game. And like, I'm watching a lot of these games live to watch Caitlin Clark. I'm watching the Sky to watch Angel Reese. When I watch the Aces, I want to watch Aja Wilson. I'm not going to lie, I don't want to watch Erica Wheeler stink it up for 4 quarters. I don't want to watch Aaliyah Boston. In fairness, she actually did play pretty well, so I'm not going to insult Boston today. She was by far their best player today. I don't want to watch garbage time MVP Lexi Hull, to be honest. This is a terrible team.